Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today we're working on the 1993 Sakura Supa for the 1-star build. Our previous rebuild episode, which was the one before last, we did the factory rebuild of this exact car. So now we're looking at the 1-star rebuild. We bought this car for £43,841 from the barn, a little bit more expensive than the previous rebuild, which was from the scrapyard from what I remember. This car has the same engine as the previous. It's an i6 DRHC BU2 engine, which is why this made a better choice for the 1-star build than the scrapyard car, as there were more parts already here, so it was a bit easier to try and work out which parts we needed, so I could 1-star them up without having to go back and forth lots and lots of times. But that is the plan for today. Get this to 1-star standard and then put it round the tracks so we can have a look on the leaderboards and just see how it compares to the factory rebuild. As always, we start by getting the gearbox off. Completely lost my words there. Gearbox off first, and that way we can get the engine out and do that first. This is the first proper video on the PS5 for Car Mechanic Simulator. There is no upgrade to PS5 version, it's the PS4 version. Graphically though, I think there is a difference. You may also notice though the camera work in this video is a little bit janky. The reason for that, I was still playing around with the settings for the cursor in terms of sensitivity and things like that. I found the PS5 was very quick to move the cursor compared to the PS4. So bear with me while I get that sorted. That may be a little bit noticeable throughout the episode. But we're going to take the engine apart and then we'll be back with you once it's all done. So engine is all apart now, just about. Last bit's coming off. And what we'll do, we'll go away, we'll fix everything we can, buy the parts we need, and 1-star everything up, and we'll see you when that's done. Everything is done. Hopefully I've not missed anything. There is a chance I may have done. But we'll start putting this back together. It's all 1-starred, all 100%. So we'll now put this back together and we'll see you once we've rebuilt this engine. Nearly there now. To be honest, the engine isn't that big. It doesn't take that long, to be fair, to rebuild or take it apart. The longest part is fixing everything and actually one-starting everything. So gearbox stuff going back on. If you may have noticed, for those that are eagle-eyed out there, I did miss something. We actually didn't replace on the fuel rail, so we've brought one now. We've one-starred it. We'll now put it on. I said there'd be something I'd forget. It's the only piece that I actually forgot of the whole engine. I think I did pretty well. But there we have it. The small i6 DRHC BU2 engine is now back to proper standard, 1-star standard in fact. So better than factory. Okay, onto the car. So we'll start by, do you know what? Let's take everything out of the engine bay, but also the bodywork off. There's no point going up and down with the car. So let's take all the bodywork off, and then we will take stuff out of the engine bay. Trying to get remember my words here. And then we'll stick the car up and we'll do all the suspension-based stuff. So for those that do play the game and know about it, you cannot star up any of the bodywork. You can tune it. There is a tuning bodywork station in the shop. But we're not going to worry about that until we do a performance version. And they don't actually give any benefit to the car. They actually only give a cosmetic look. But there's not much in this engine bay, as you can see. Air filter to come off. It's got to deal with the clips. And this is where the PS5 sensitivity on the cursor was a little bit hard to kind of get round. Trying to get the little clips done there. Now, what else have we got? I think we've only got the fuse box. So we've got a fuse box here. We've got to take out all the fuses and the relays. And then we can get rid of this. Fuse board to come out. While this is ongoing, and we're taking these out, I will say, if you are enjoying this series or any content on the channel, don't forget to subscribe. A like on the episodes does really help as well. Thank you to everyone that has supported the channel so far. It's incredible to see you guys enjoying the content, live streams or videos. So very appreciative of that. Okay, so that is that done. Engine bay is now empty. So what we're going to do, we're going to lift the car up. We'll start taking apart the suspension. And again, we'll speed this up so you can see what we did. And we'll see you when it's done. That is the suspension nearly done. Front sway bar coming off. Cross member as well. And that is the suspension. Everything else taken out of the car. The only thing we haven't done is the internal seats, but we'll deal with those right at the end, I think. So before we go anywhere, we're going to quickly weld the car. Get the frame back to a decent standard, a 100% standard hopefully. £1,800 to weld. You don't actually notice a difference. There's the cars that are really beaten down. You notice a massive difference when you weld them. This one not so much. But that is all done. We're going to go off and fix everything, start everything up, and we'll be back. Okay, I guarantee I've forgotten to just start something up. It's always going to happen. There's always one part you forget. So we're going to put everything back together, including putting the engine back in the car. And we shall see you once this is all done. So we are then fluids going in as we finish off. There are a couple of things I haven't done, and you may have noticed there's a couple you may have picked up on. One of them is the fuse box cover. So the one they didn't have one to start with, I think was the issue, and that's why I completely forgot. Just got to fill up the coolant, and then we shall go and deal with that, as that will need buying and then 1-starring. We are using up the scrap quite quickly. I'm surprised at how much we're using, to be fair. Okay, so we've gone and bought one. We've started up. Now we can put it on. I was always going to forget something, and because it didn't have one to start with, then you forget about it. So we need to reconnect the gearbox underneath, and we haven't done the exhaust system either yet, so that's something we need to do. So gearbox first. 1-starred, as you see. Starter motor. Okay, I forgot a second thing. We haven't got one. So I need to go and buy a starter motor and then go and start it up. Completely forgot about this. Again, it didn't have one to start with. And the problem is when you don't have something, you completely forget about it. I didn't take it off my shopping list. I like to have my shopping list empty. unless I'm buying something. It's so easy to miss something. So here we go. Starter motor, 1-starred up, perfect. As I was saying, the scrap has gone down considerably, which I'm okay about, but it's concerning. This is only a 1-star build. We'll look at exactly how much we used once we're finished, but we've yet to do 2-stars and 3-star builds of any cars yet. We haven't found that many. And my concern is obviously that's going to take a lot of scrap. Although it's easily done, we just have to spend ages at the scrapyard going around, buying everything up, which money isn't an issue anymore. It's now all about the cars and their leaderboard times. But it's the time. When you bring back hundreds of items from the scrapyard and you're scrapping them all, and the majority can't be fixed, so they have to go for scrap, you do end up, I think I spent, last time I did it was about nearly an hour, just under an hour, pressing the same button to scrap everything. I even gave up trying to hit the best marks. And when you scrap an item, you get 3 different colors to hit. If the smallest color is, you get more scrap basically. I gave up because you're just pressing it constantly for nearly an hour. You kind of get fed up. Although my little boy does enjoy doing it for me. I let him do it because you can't lose anything really, and he does enjoy that, but even he gets fed up after a while. So yes, we do need more scrap. It is something we've got to work on going forward, especially for the 1-star and up builds. Anyway, let's concentrate on what we're doing. So inside of the car, we need to put the seats in, steering wheel. We've just gone and bought them all. I did say previously, there's no point starring these up. It's not going to change anything. Price isn't going to change dramatically if we do star them up, so it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth the scrap. Maybe when you get to 1-star, 2-star, 2-star or 3-star, possibly. But even then, it's going to be marginal, isn't it? Game-wise, you can't star up the actual bodyworks. That doesn't matter. There we go. We have front right fender as well. We have the bonnet going on, or the hood as it's called. Right front headlight, front bumper. We've moved away from the car a little bit too much there, so it didn't allow us to actually carry on. Number plate going on, so everything should be 100%, or will be 100% when this is all on the car. But yeah, going forward, we need to find more cars like we've already done. Because we've left the settings where it's random completely where you find the cars. You can't find every car everywhere. They have set places they spawn. Still leaves a lot of cars to appear in certain places. We just haven't found the same one over and over again, which is a good thing in some ways. But for us trying to complete this is a little bit harder. Okay, we haven't got a windshield, I'm pretty sure. So let's buy one. There we go. Clean up my shopping list as I'm there. And that is that done. So we're going to go off and paint the car and all that good stuff. And we'll have a look at it when it's done. So this was the colour choice I came up with. It was all my idea. I don't know. I just like the look of it. I like the 2 colours, the white and the black, the very big contrast between the 2. I thought that looked really nice. So that's what I went for. Now, hot lap time. This will be our 5th lap. We've done a 1:59 for 2nd, 3rd and 4th laps. And we're now on the 5th lap. The first lap's a standing start, so it's just over 2 minutes. This was our best lap of the 5, and it was the final lap as well. The one thing we did find with this car was very good on the brakes. Now, I don't know if we said that about the first build we did. For this car, it was extremely good on the brakes, which meant you had to adjust your braking zones and reduce them massively. It took a bit of time to get used to that. A lot of the cars we do don't generally have good brakes, so we had to adjust for that. As you see, it holds nicely, and we've got to feather the throttle a little bit on the corners just to keep the car going around at a decent speed, but we're getting there. As I say, 159.8, a 159.9, and then we got a 159.0. We were improving. Right, a little hiccup in the middle, but we were improving massively. This lap was a little bit better than them. As we come up to the tight right-hander here, taking it nicely, keeping the apex. I think that was a really good corner by us. I think that actually helped make the lap so much better than we had done previously. But it's all about just timing your braking and trying to accelerate without this car struggling. A lot of the older cars especially struggle under acceleration in the corners. They just try to understeer, I think is the word I'm looking for. Whereas this car does hold the road pretty well. Is lacking a bit of speed. It's definitely not the fastest car by any means, but it is very good on the brakes. Okay, a few more corners to go. We are coming to the end of the lap. Small left-hander followed by a sharp right coming up, braking nicely, hitting the apex, left-hander, and then followed by the last corner coming up here. And we will end up doing a 156.9, which is 11th place on the leaderboards. I'm not setting the leaderboards alight, but 11th place, 4.5 seconds better than the factory rebuild version of this exact car. Now, either I was having a really bad day when we did the factory rebuild, or something's changed. And I don't know what it is, because both cars are the exact same apart from the 1-star parts, and we know if you start parts, it doesn't increase performance. I can put it down to an anomaly, possibly. But yeah, 4.5 seconds is a lot. But 11th place on the leaderboard is not making it into our top 5. Now, top speed. We have already started, just to talk through some of it. The previous version, the factory standard version, did 200 kilometers per hour. Can we beat it? It's unlikely, because most of these we found are the exact same. They should be the exact same, as starred parts don't increase performance. So I'm expecting it to be the same. But you never know, there can be an anomaly here and there. 195, we're getting close. 200, 201, let's come back down. Okay, it's given us 200 kilometers per hour, 124.274 miles per hour, joint 12th with the factory rebuild. So we spent £19,506 fixing this, with a total cost including buying of £63,347. We're selling it for £107,999, which is £2,000 more than the factory rebuild. We'll get on to that in a sec. And a profit of £44,652, with a total scrap we spent of £2,632 for the 1-star. So for £2,632,000 lots of scrap, we actually sold it for £2,000 more. As we've said previously, 1-star in cars is definitely not worth it. But that is it for today. We'll see you in the next rebuild.